Hi everybody, welcome back Cars and Guitars. Just a quick update on the 55 Chev. I got the quarter extensions welded in. Both quarters are welded on in place. And I got the gaps pretty good on the trunk and the quarters here. Trunk lid's not latched right now because somebody welded that in the wrong spot. So it's over too far one way, so when the latch comes down for the trunk, it hits on the edge here and it's not latching. So I got to cut that out and move it. But the trunk's going to go there anyway, so like I said, I got the gaps really good now. This side I didn't do anything to it. This side was good. This side here, the quarter panel was hitting on the trunk lid all the way down to here, and you can see all the marks on the quarter here where I've been hammering on it. So that's how I get the gap. Instead of cutting it and re-welding it, I take my spoon here and I take my hammer and I just hammer it down, back up and around, just massage the metal over it, and it'll push the metal over and get you a nice gap. And sometimes I use my hammer and just hammer on the edge lightly, down and up, and work your way around. And, well, you can't see on there, but the trunk lid was rubbing on there. You can see it chipped the paint there in a few spots. I touched it up with some epoxy. But a little massaging there with the hammer, you can see you get a nice gap now, and I don't have to cut and weld that. And the other reason why I wanted to show you this was these are two new quarter panels, and they come with epoxy primer on them. Most panels do. And this was underneath, usually under the epoxy. There's a lot of surface rust. That's why I always strip the epoxy off the new panels. Just because they're full of rust. I noticed it when I bent the slip around here. The slip isn't bent. When you get these aftermarket quarters, they come out straight, and you got to bend them down yourself to make them fit in here onto the rest of the body. So anyway, so when I bent that down, the epoxy was peeling off down around here, and it was all full of surface rust. So I sanded it off, and I just brushed the epoxy on there for now. And I'm going to sand this down with some 80 to get that off there. And I'm just going to epoxy the back piece here now, like I did on the other side, just so it doesn't rust in the meantime. But when I'm ready to do the painting and the prepping on this, I'm going to paint strip this quarter and get it all sanded down, get the surface rust off like that. I'm going to sand that down with 80 grit and rip that off there. Probably 220 first to make sure all this rust is off there, and then I'll hit it with some 80, and I'll spray some SPI epoxy primer on there just for now. And you can see here, usually these they lead the seams on this, and I don't want to put I'm not leading them, and I don't want to put a bunch of filler in here to get that even. So I'm going to inside and see if I can get my jack and push this up. If not, I'm going to have to cut on the inside and lift up that piece. That you can't hammer with the hammer, but I might be able to get my quarter power in there and just put it under here and on the floor here and push that up on both sides, and that should take care of that. So anyway, just a quick update. Oh, and we got the quarter panel for the 66 Beaumont. I got that painted and gravel guarded on the inside. So Carly's got the trunk lid going here right now, and we're paint stripping it. There's 5 coats of paint on there, and even once we stripped it right down, you can see it's full of surface rust under that too. So that has to be stripped down, and then we'll probably use the acid, the metal conditioner. That'll take that surface rust off there in seconds, and wash it down with some paint thinner, and then we'll get epoxy primer on that. Well, actually, the lip has to be sandblasted. Some rust on the edge of the lip as usual. Sandblast that first, then epoxy it. And that's it for now. That's a quick update on the 55. We're making some progress. Basically, the back half of the car is pretty much done. We're going to start trying to get our gaps lined up on the doors here. As you can see, they're a bit tight at the bottom. And I might just hammer the lip like I did on the other, the trunk quarter. And then we'll get these doors off. They got to be repaired. I'd like to get the underneath the car all painted and stuff. Oh yeah, I still got the floor to do, but that's pretty simple. Just a quick patch on the front driver's side floor. So that's it for now. Thanks for watching Cars and Guitars. I'm John Bluen.